The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Fream, and thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining Gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. It's about achievements, we'll unlock it. You can find show notes for this show as well as previous shows on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 99. You can also contact us with questions and comments on Twitter at Z2Z, Z-E-D-T-O-Z-E-D, over at our forums, forum.z2z.com, or email us directly, contact@z2z.com. Well, we are in a bit of a rush tonight because we have some exciting things planned for after the show, and so we got to get this thing cruising right now. So introductions ahead. We've got Proulx. How are you doing tonight, Proulx?
I am doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Can you hear it in my voice? I'm really excited. I'm really excited to hear how Randy's doing. How are you doing, Randy?
I'm mediocre.
Yay! That's fantastic. So you can probably tell, like I said at the beginning, we want to. This might be a little bit of a shorter show. It likely isn't going to be because we're going to add a reviews ed on there. We're going to add a contest roundup, and I'm just going to drone on forever. And it's hell, I'll probably have to recap what happens tonight. But tonight is our Rocket League game, the first tournament match between Proux's team and my team. We had one match already last night that was, oh my gosh, it was so much fun to watch. And it was late. So if you guys didn't see it live, totally understand because it was like in the middle of the night. But it is saved for posterity, I believe. Is that the Z to Z Mixer account?
It's actually on mine because you can't, as far as I'm aware, and I could be wrong about this, but at least last night I couldn't figure out how to
save a host stream or
no, because
whatever.
Yeah, right. You can't save a host stream, I don't think, and you have to be logged in under your account on your Xbox.
Yeah.
So it kind of prevents you from doing that. So you can find it right now under my Mixer, and I think probably tomorrow or sometime this weekend I'll try to upload it to the Z2Z YouTube just so that we have it. And then going forward, that same sort of stuff, I'd like to save them, just for fun, and so everybody can see what's going on. Because last night's match, like you just mentioned, Fream, tonight's match is also going to be very late because of the conflicting schedules, trying to get everybody together. Sometimes they're in at a time where it's not convenient for everybody to watch, but we want everybody to be able to see them.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out on that, and I'll try to get that stuff sorted out. But yeah, go to the Z2Z YouTube, and we'll see if we can throw them up on there.
That'd be a great place to do it. Yeah, so last night, who do we have? We had, do you remember the teams? We had Matriarch, Saucy, and who else was on their team?
God. I would have to look at the list. No.
Weasel was playing.
Weasel was playing, but he was on the other team, right?
He was on the losing team.
Yep.
Big L. It was Big L, Stu, and Redemption beat M, Saucy, and Weasel, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes. Yep, you're absolutely right. Yep.
3-0. Although, like that last game there, I mean, that was tight. That was a fantastic last game. I think just trying to get, and again, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, it's super late because we've got all these people who work weird times or are in different time zones, and so it's awesome that we could get everyone together to actually play. And I think if these things, when we do this again, we absolutely will do this again because we had a bunch of people come in stream because they're just like, oh, Rocket League tournament, can I get in on this?
Yep.
And so I'm hoping maybe you guys take it. You guys are listening. You've seen the show. You're listening to this podcast. We want you to be a part of it. We want to have more people do these types of tournaments because that was super fun. So as we get this thing, the bugs all ironed out of this, and we'll do it on our own if Microsoft doesn't give us the tools, but hopefully Microsoft can bring the tools as well, and we can do that. Now, so tonight's match, we've got me, Skeptical Mario, and Foo Cuddly Poof going up against Proulx, Buffs, and
What the Fug.
Fug.
Yep.
What the Fug.
Yep.
And so now I was in Discord. You guys can come and chat with us in Discord as well if you're interested. Discord.me/Freamhole. But I was in Discord, Proulx, and you were talking about tonight's stream, and that you were gloating about, well, I could just do it because I've got great internet, right? Isn't that what I heard you say?
That's true. I can stream and play it at the same time. It doesn't affect me.
So that's excuse computer number one of why I'm not going to win this match. The other thing, I got my flu shot today, so my driving arm real sore. I'm just throwing that out there right now.
Conveniently. I wanted to say too, one of the people that we had joining us from the community, and I'm going to get his name wrong, even though we just went over this. The Tomometer. So
nope.
Tominator. The Tominator.
Tomater, like from Cars. He's the tow truck.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
he mentioned he was like, I would have joined, but I didn't really feel like I was experienced enough. When we do this again, like Fream just says, please, there are skill levels of every range here. So please join it. We want, this is more of a, come have fun with the community. And obviously, the more people, the better. Even if you're it's your first time playing Rocket League, although maybe you should practice a little before if you sign up for the tournament. But come have fun; it'll be a good time. And we're only one match into this tournament right now, and it's already a ton of fun. And I'm so looking forward to the rest of the matches.
Yeah, we got one tonight and another one tomorrow. That would be the third game. I don't know if the fourth game has been scheduled yet. I think it's tomorrow night would be the fourth game. So that'd be all of the first round matchups happening this week, and then obviously second round matchups will be figured out once we know what the teams are. If you have any curiosity about the skill level involved, watch my stream because I am by far the worst player and am very, very, as Randy said, mediocre. So, you can, it's not going to be an entertaining stream per se, because I'm going to be driving around in circles a lot. I'm pretty terrible at aerials, and I throw my car just willy-nilly all over the place. So, don't.
You need a signature move like me.
Is it I did a 360 miss the ball and let somebody else score. That looked really great on the goal cam.
That's called distracting. That works.
Yeah, I was very distracted. So that stuff aside, so that's why we're going to try it. We'll probably end up cutting this short. Hopefully, it's not mid-sentence. But and speaking of cutting mid-sentence, we had a lot of comments from last episode when they're like, "What the hell, guys? Like, Review Zed literally cut off Fream's story." If you didn't get it, that was the joke. So 100% credit Skeptical Mario for saying that, because he said it seemed like Reviews had just jumped in the middle of the conversation, and so we had said, well, I should just do it in the middle of one of Fream's long rambling stories, and so bam, we set it up as a bit. That we did that on purpose. There was actually no story. I could give you a story, and maybe that there was talk about having a Patreon only Fream story time, but I think that would be terrible. So why don't we introduce them proper right here, right now? Let's do Review Zed. Here we go.
Z to Z Podcast presents Review Zed.
All right, so back this week for what we were playing this week in Review Zed. I got my regular co-host Warren with me. Hey, Warren. And we are playing Slayaway Camp, Butcher's Cut. I think this is we're still kind of around Halloween. I think we were playing this right around Halloween, weren't we?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe later when this podcast came out, but it was very fitting because it was right at Halloween time. So, Slayaway Camp Butcher's Cut. It is published by Diggerati Distribution, developed by Blue Wizard Digital. This was actually released on October 23rd, 2017, with an Xbox Live Store price of $16.99. So, yeah, I guess I will say not the priciest of games, but definitely a little bit on the slightly pricier side for puzzles for what we played. But again, for the amount of time it takes now, and I think this is where you and me will kind of go off on this. So in general, it's a puzzle game. So it is a horror. What I liked is it's a retro themed horror puzzle game. So it's done in 8-bit, and I guess you're in a video store, because that really reminds me, not even of Blockbuster rental, almost like a mom and pop, that really dingy video store you might have had in town, the ones that had the back room, air quotes.
Yeah, the good movies.
Yeah, the good ones. And so you get to rent the VHS, so you have VHS tapes, which are really the levels, and it's Slayaway Camp, which kind of reminds me of a mix of Sleepaway Camp with Friday the 13th. So basically you're going through the installments of Friday the 13th, Part 1, Part 2, Part 2.5, Part 3. Anyway, a bunch of the video, like you'll get a handful of levels, like 10 or 15, or 10, 15, 16 levels, and it's themed on which video you're in the Slayaway Camp series. And then as you progress, you unlock other videos which are, pretty much themed about other horror movies. What was the one? It was like Hands of Death or something?
Faces of Kills?
Yeah. Which, that's a play on what? Faces of Death, right?
Yeah, that would be my guess.
And then, so I mean, the puzzles were not bad. I will say, like, as you move later on, I don't know about you, because at the time of when we were playing this, nobody had really put out solutions to the puzzles. But I mean, this game's playtime will be cut down dramatically if you were using video solutions.
Oh, definitely. It's literally the kind of game where, like some of the others we've played as of late, you push left, your dude moves left. You push up, he goes up. So like you're gonna get solutions that are like left, up, down, right, whatever. And then you'll have every level done. So if you're busting through on your own, like we were doing, it's definitely going to take you longer than it will when this eventually has a complete walkthrough fleshed out.
Yeah, and I think at the $16.99 price point, it's definitely, I don't think it was a bad price if you're playing it and you're actually going to solve the puzzles, because there's a bunch of them that are, they take you a number of times to get through that are not, I would say, the most obvious path of solutions. They're fairly lengthy, nothing earth-shatteringly dramatic, but again, it'll take you a few hours to go and solve everything. So, for 17, if you like a good puzzle, yeah. But if you were just rushing through it, and then I think you miss out on the fun animations. Now let's talk about the death. Yeah, so it's gory. I liked how there was an option to turn off the gore. I opted to keep the gore on. How about yourself?
I kept it on.
Yeah.
You might as well.
If you're playing this game, you don't want it G-rated. So you start out with, I guess it was just Jason Voorhees, but his mother, she was like on the third video, and then I started unlocking extra people. Like I got the who was it? The girl from The Ring. Like you have to, and I think there's an achievement. You have to get 10 random people through random villains.
Looking.
Yeah, I remember. It's like a number. I know that the solution has, you can put in a code and unlock 13 killers using the mystery box, or you can just go in and I guess you could enter in codes to get them anyway if you didn't want to save up the money. But again, amount of cost for the time, you might as well play the Faces of Death, or what was it, the Faces of Kill. Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, that's really just and it's just the mini game. Like once you start beating the levels, you get this mini game where it's a it's not. Is it would you call that a QuickTime event?
Yes. Only because it's a single button you got to hit. But yeah,
you have a slider and there's like a hit zone, and you got to hit it in the hit zone, and you might get 80 coins, and if you miss, you get 10. So again, and then the game, the Faces of Kills, is literally just that over and over and over again. And actually, you have to get up to a streak of 25 for all. There's 4 achievements in that Faces of Kill game anyway. So once you get up to 16, it starts getting, that hit zone gets a lot smaller. So to get the 25 streak, you're going to be trying it a number of times. Nothing overtly obsessed, but good enough where you'll start racking up the coins. And I find the kills amusing.
It's a fun little game. I'd like to say for the content that's there, it's definitely worth the time and the money that you're spending. It's just something that's better in smaller portions because it's literally doing the same thing over and over and over. So if you'll play through one of the tapes, as it were, and then set it down, do something, come back to it. I just found that playing multiple episodes back to back to back is just a little dull.
I think it would almost be like watching all of the Friday the 13th episodes back to back to back. Same kind of thing. It's better in small doses. It's not bad, but just saying, like, even for me, I can only take so much puzzles after a while before it gets numbing. Like, I gotta go find something else to do. So, I mean, I think that kind of summarizes it. Is there anything else you'd want to say about this game? I mean, it's got murder.
If you like murders, you like slashing, and you're good with puzzles, then yeah, this is definitely a fun little game. Like I say, the price is probably something that would put some people off, but considering how much you have to go through in this, again, assuming you're playing it, not just using a guide, it's definitely got the content there. Replayability, hard to say. I guess it's all into whether or not you like the animations and the slashing, but once it's complete, it's probably something that's going to be on the shelf. It's done.
Yeah, but I mean, for the price point, if you're going through and just enjoying it and want a decent kind of puzzle, solve the, go through, get the objectives, do your kills, again, solve the puzzles. It's not a bad one. I've seen, yeah.
The achievements are pretty simple. They're all based on either completing the individual movies, as it were, or unlocking gore packs and other random things, like actions you do while playing. So, I mean, it's definitely an achievable set. And you can definitely work on them as well, because as you start getting those coins, you can just go, okay, wait, which gore packs do I need? And don't buy the other ones, because there's really no point unless you just want them all. Just grab the ones that are cheapest.
Yeah, and the gore packs are amusing. It gives you new kills to watch, so it's always interesting watching new and creative ways to have your killer kill victims. Yay, death!
As long as it's not you being death.
Yeah.
There's more than enough times I think I've managed to kill myself playing.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't swim.
Yeah, I noticed
you can't
that
step in
really
fire.
quickly.
Yeah, so, but other than that, overall, decent game. So that's what I spent the week playing. So I think that with that, anything else, Warren?
No, that pretty much covers it, I think.
All right, till next week. Thanks again, guys. Back to you, whoever introed us.
So there, they had their proper say. Thank you, guys, for doing that. Now let's talk about what we've been playing this week. You've heard what those guys were playing in Reviews Ed. Here's what we've been up to. Why don't we hear from Randy? Because Proulx and I have been talking about Rocket League this whole time. We got to hear from you. What have you been up to?
Well, not a ton. I've been cleaning up. So
Cleaning up, like, your house to move? Are you going somewhere?
No, I've been cleaning up my tag.
That kind of cleanup, yeah, because you damaged it so badly with that Gamerscore romp.
Yeah, well, not really. I mean, there's only one scar left over from that now, and that is
Walking Dead?
Canadian football.
Oh.
Walking Dead is in progress, but the one game that's going to be sitting there for a while because I need a helper. So actually, I don't even know. So let's see. What did I play this week? I finished Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. Very easy game. Even if you're not good at fighting games, very, very easy game. It's just you can just mash 2 buttons, complete the whole game in like 1 or 2 hours.
Is there like a master list somewhere of the easy Neo Geo games and the crappy Neo Geo games? Like I'm sure that exists somewhere.
Kind of. Not that I know of.
Okay.
I mean, don't even go by the completion estimates because
Yeah, they're terrible.
like they're just most of the time they're really just flat out wrong. Like
Well,
Sengoku. So I feel like the way people estimate these is how long you could possibly complete it.
Yeah, they do that in like Geometry Wars. Like I mentioned, like Geometry Wars is a 1 hour completion. Like, yeah,
That's
if,
awesome.
If you were the best Geometry Wars bullet hell
without any
dodger,
practice.
Yeah.
coming off the heels
so-
of Jitterbug, you could do
you play
Geometry Wars in 1 hour.
Yeah. So, like, Sengoku is like a 1 to 2 hour completion, which, yes, it is technically possible to complete that game in 1 to 2 hours if you've already mastered the game.
Yeah.
But realistically, that's an 8 to 10 hour completion. Actually, that's not true. I think that's a 6 to 8 hour Fatal Fury special. I don't know. I'd say they're both somewhere between 6 and 10 hours. Same thing. Fatal Fury special 1 to 2 hours because technically you could do it in 1 hour.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to do it in 1 hour because the game cheats. So
So this the Virtua Fighter
don't believe those.
is that's a ACA game?
No, Virtua Fighter 5 is just it's an XBLA game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one I started months ago now in July. I just did the multiplayer with my friend and I've just been going through. I'm trying to like clear off a bunch of stuff on my Xbox One that's been sitting there forever, just to kind of tidy up my games and get some stuff off my tag. So that was on there. I knew it was under an hour to complete, so I just ran through it. Been playing The Walking Dead. It is ramped up a little bit in episode 3. It's pretty. I like the story. Again, not the engine.
Yeah.
Not
Welcome
the
to
engine.
Telltale.
Now,
It really does take away from the experience.
Telltale had asked, like, I think there was a tweet or something about, like, are you excited or what are you excited about for the new collection? And so I messaged them, is there going to be a toggle for jankiness? Like, can we increase the jank so that we can really live that 360 experience?
So we can consistently have the twitching cop in the car.
Yeah.
The whole game. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And the performance really isn't much better on the newer versions either, because I'm seeing them all side by side, the 360, the Xbox One, and the PC on a high-end PC, and it's just as bad. It amazes me though how laggy the 360 version is. Like, on top of it being bad, like, how does that game lag?
It chugs.
It really should not.
The best improvement that you'll see across those games by far is the loading times. Loading times in those early in the 360 Telltale games, it's atrocious.
It's
it
brutal.
is so probably
it's probably twice as long. Like, because it's the same thing. I can see them all next to each other. Mm-hmm. The PC loads faster by a little bit, but it's pretty much on par with the one for the most part. And then the 360 is like twice as long because like. It's especially noticeable when I'm going back and resuming all the episodes where the 2 will be done and then the 360 is just loading. It's just not great.
The worst of it is Game of Thrones on the 360. I'm telling you, from putting the disc...
I feel like I really need to play this game. The 360 Game of Thrones. It sounds kind of magical.
Oh, no. Actually, if you really want to play the worst Telltale experience, you have to play Back to the Future.
Jurassic Park? Oh.
No.
Oh, well, okay, but that's a different era, though.
Yes, it is, but it is still Telltale. It's got some pre Walking Dead-isms, but I'm telling you, it's still the same sort of thing, and it is by far the worst experience you're going to have with a Telltale game, including Jurassic Park, which came before it. Jurassic Park was silly and dopey, but
Jurassic Park was like a point and click, right?
No, I mean
a real point and click.
It was actually
not a
more of a
point and click.
Basically, more of a quick time, basic game. It was.
Oh.
It is very similar in structure to the later Telltale games as well. It's not that different. But as far as like the Telltale jankiness and the loading and the technical issues, and then just the fact that you're going to be bored to death, Back to the Future is by far the worst experience you're going to have.
I mean, I guess the other thing too is like it really shows is that it's probably using the same engine from back when Back to the Future was made.
I'm sure. Yeah.
However, for what PlayStation 2 era. And they're still using the same engine.
Yeah.
Guys, it's time for a new engine.
You made enough money at this point, yeah.
Please. Yeah, so that's unfortunate because I'm really enjoying it other than that. So it really annoys me that is what's taking away from the experience. And it is enough to affect that.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. The immersion is so lost when you're all of a sudden sitting there for, because then you get pulled out. Your phone comes out.
That's stupid. You're like,
I better check Twitter.
Yeah. And Rock Band 3, ooh. I got the 2 Pro Guitar training achievements.
Did you just get yourself a Pro Guitar or something?
No, I got myself a friend. That's what I got myself.
Gotcha.
So that was very nice of a friend. And then I played Halo Spartan Assault with Proulx tonight. I finished that off. We played earlier in the week as well. I finished that off, and now we're just working on his last multiplayer achievement and all. So that's all 4 completable versions done for me.
Nice.
I'm very happy about that. And then I played a lot of Jetpack Refueled, which I really don't enjoy. See, you guys were totally right about Rare. I just erased all of these not great games. I wouldn't say bad.
Well,
Nuts and Bolts is bad. Cameo is bad. But the rest are not bad, but they're not good either.
They just didn't age well.
No, Jetpack Refueled is just, it has design issues. Like, it's not... See, the problem with Jetpack Refueled is it's a shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's my I don't believe. I mean, it's like if you look at a MOBA today and said, well, you look at StarCraft or Warcraft and that was MOBA back in the day. That's how Jetpack Refueled is shooter.
Well, no, those aren't
the
MOBAs.
Old day. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Those aren't MOBAs. Those are real-time strategy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that led to the traditional MOBA? And I'm saying you calling Jetpack Refueled a shooter is sure.
No, it's shoot 'em up, not shoot 'em,
whatever. But led to more traditional shoot 'em ups that yes, this is more realistic now.
This is Jetpack Refueled is an American shoot 'em up. It's not a Japanese shoot 'em up. Because Japanese shoot 'em up is like Cave games, like Death Smiles.
Can't we do anything right?
Hey, I prefer Western RPGs.
I mean,
Japanese RPGs.
They're just different. They're both good in different ways. Robotron is my favorite shoot 'em up, and that's an American shoot 'em up. So they're different. But anyway, it's a shoot 'em up. But the problem is some of the levels I'm pretty sure cannot be completed without dying, which to me is kind of a design flaw in a shoot 'em up.
Yep.
Because if you can't complete the level without dying, you get to that level with 1 life left. Oh, guess you got to restart from the last checkpoint. And they're just these levels that you could complete if your laser upgrades carried over in between levels, but no, your laser resets every level. They're just these design flaws that make it so these levels are impossible or near impossible to complete.
Yeah.
With what you're given at the start. So and then the rest is based on luck. It's okay, so did a bomb spawn at the beginning so I can clear the screen and maybe get a laser upgrade? Nope. Oh, guess you're going to die. Did a laser upgrade spawn, so maybe I can survive long enough to get another upgrade? Nope, didn't spawn. Guess you got to restart. It's just...
Yeah. I look at that with that ACA Last Resort and those types of games like R-Type or Gradius or, those types of side-scrolling shoot-'em-ups where, if because you get hit, right? You make a mistake, your ship crashes, and now you're back to nothing. You've got no support, no weapons, and you're
I totally agree. Last Resort was bad for
so
that.
Punitive.
Yeah. At least in those games, though, if you were good enough at dodging, you could make it. It was tough, but you could still do it. But Jetpack is, and the other thing too is it seems like the more enemies you kill, the more enemies spawn.
Yeah,
and if you don't
respawn.
kill them, then and I guess it's not the more enemies you kill, but it's just the spawn rate of enemies is so high that if you take too long, like some levels not even take long, like just getting through the level, it gets to this point of saturation where there are so many enemies on the screen that you literally spawn and die. There's nothing you can do about it if you don't have a bomb. And even then, the bomb might buy you 10, 20 seconds. And it's just, yeah, it's not, it ends up being the first 30 or 40 levels are fine. But once you get past that, it is not a fun experience. It's just poor, what I see is poor design, and what could have been fun is not fun anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get through that because it's been sitting on my dashboard for years. I just want to get it done because I don't want to play it anymore. I think I'm at level 97 or something out of 128. I'll get through it this weekend, hopefully. And I'll boost the rating a little bit because the original Jetpack is really good. I love the original Jetpack.
Sure.
Much better game. But yeah, I'm not having fun with that one. I'll be glad when it's done. Move on to the next rare game, maybe Nuts and Bolts.
Man,
Gross.
that'll be fun.
Man, it would be so nice to uninstall Nuts and Bolts.
I bet.
Very happy about that. Make some more swastika planes. Get
There
me
you
through
go.
it.
Nice. Anything else you've been up to?
I played some Magic the Gathering. Real Magic the Gathering.
Ooh, IRL, huh?
Yeah. I'm hooked.
At your house, or did you go somewhere, or what?
I went to my friend's house.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we've been playing for a couple weeks.
I was cruising.
We're getting more into it now. It's going because we both used to play a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then now we're just kind of like remembering how to play. Because both of us kind of played casually. Like I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively in tournaments for a long time.
Sure.
And then I played a little Magic on the side with some of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Friends, but none of us really played it seriously. But it was enough to learn the game to understand how it worked and things like that. And then now coming back to it, I was like, man, like I don't even remember. We had to like look up all these rules and stuff. Like, man, we're so rusty. But now we've been playing for a couple weeks. We're kind of getting into it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
You know,
And-
I was we had like a scavenger hunt and for my gym. We were just getting together. So my family went and we were cruising around Minneapolis, and there's a couple of teams just doing one of those on foot scavenger hunt things. And we were looking for like business cards or directions to somewhere. And so I walked into this coffee shop, and it was like the front half is a coffee shop, and the back half they have like tons of board games and stuff and tables. And I walked in there, and there were like 4 dudes playing D&D. And like I could hear the DM, explaining this room that they entered, and I was just like, man, like that really takes me back. And now that like I'm smart, I'd be so much better at that. Like if I approached it now than when I tried and I was 12 and I was just an idiot. And it's like, I just like to make characters. And now I'm like, and so I think of that, or like I have these Warhammer armies just sitting here, and I know like if I ever wanted to play the game, like I have the rule set from 4th edition or whatever, and I think the game is no longer in strike. I think they went to 7 editions or 8 editions, and then just it was shut down. So I'm like, well, I have a working set of rules, so I could just play with, my son or a buddy who,
Wait, what do you mean? Warhammer shut down?
Warhammer, the fantasy version of Warhammer, I think is done. I think they moved on to something else. And I can't remember. I keep seeing it on Fantasy Flight Games Twitter account, but I can't remember what it's called now. But
Interesting.
I think that no longer exists, which is a bummer. But yeah, so
That's kind of surprising. I mean, I guess 40K was always kind of more popular, though, wasn't it?
It's hard to say. I liked fantasy more, but anyway.
I don't know. I didn't follow it. Some of my friends did. I didn't really follow that too much.
Yeah. But yeah, that sounds like fun going back to Magic.
Yeah, it's super fun. And I'm just waiting till we kind of, tweak our decks a little bit more and get a little bit better. And then we'll go to a tournament and get crushed and learn how to play good. Because I distinctly remember that when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you start playing with your friends. And you're like, yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm going to go to a tournament. And then that first tournament you go to, you're like, yeah, I'm like the best of all my friends. I'm going to crush it. And you lose every match.
Yeah.
Like just dominated, ruined. And then you're like, nah, but now I know how to play. And if you come back, that's how you get good, because you get crushed a couple of times. You learn, the staple cards, the deck balance, what people are playing, and then you take that knowledge and you go build a deck and you crush it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing that eventually, but it's probably going to be a little bit before we work up the courage to go get crushed.
Nice.
So yeah, that was fun. But my win of the week is, so I've been reinvesting some of the money that I earned in the stock market.
Yep.
A while ago, and part of that reinvestment plan, I'm buying some cryptocurrency. I'm buying Ether.
Okay.
And I decided, instead of just buying the currency, I'm also going to buy a mining rig. So I put it together. Damien helped me out. We got some good parts together, and I ordered my mining rig yesterday. So by the time this releases, I will hopefully have my fancy new graphics card and very, very cheap tower to put it in to mine Ether. So I've been wanting to do that for a really long time. Like, I think cryptocurrency is super interesting. Like,
so weird.
And it's awesome. Like, I remember reading about Bitcoin like, oh man, it must have been like 2011 or 2012 or 2010 or something, a long time ago, like way before, when it was worthless, when you could mine it on a potato.
Yeah.
And thinking like, man, that's a good idea. Like, that's cool.
What, getting a bunch of potatoes?
No, but I mean, just the idea of that currency, I was like, it's perfect, because it's not tied to any country. So like, if your country's economy tanks it, well, obviously your currency tanks it too.
Right.
Not your cryptocurrency, because it's not tied to any country. It's like, it's awesome. And it's not, the transaction fees almost don't exist, because you don't have to have all these middle companies taking a cut along the way. It's just done. It's like,
yeah, but if it's so easy to get, like, it's not consistently devalues.
No, it's quite the opposite, because the way it's designed is the more people that mine it and the more successful solutions there are, the harder each next one gets. So that's why now I think Bitcoin is mined out. Like, there's no more Bitcoin being introduced. The mining is just fulfilling transactions on the network.
Okay.
So you get a little fee every time, and then it's split up, which is part of the reason that now one Bitcoin is worth, I think today it was like $7,300 US.
Good God.
So, yeah. But I mean, that's what happens is.
So is there like a gold rush for Ether now? Like, is that what we're...
Well, I mean, Ether had a little boom, but I think Ether has a much more sustainable future, because Ether has kind of an inherent value where Bitcoin doesn't. Bitcoin, all it does is do transactions. That's it. That's the only thing it can do. It's secure, and it has lots of confidence because it was the first one, and it's like the one everyone knows, the one that's always in the news. So if people are just getting into a cryptocurrency, they go to Bitcoin because it's the only one they know. But Ether can fund what they call dApps, which is decentralized applications that run on the network on the Ethereum network. So what that is you just have like a database that's just, I don't know. I don't quite understand
I'm
the
so
extent
confused
of it
right now.
Yeah, it's super complicated. I don't really understand it. But basically what you do is you pay a fee to run these decentralized apps that are not on like one server in any one place, and they're secure because they're on the Ethereum network. And then the people securing it get a fee or something.
So are these like, do people like come to your house and say, hey, I got a really great idea for how you can get affordable health insurance? And like, is this like a pyramid scheme? What?
No.
That's what it sounds like. Sounds goofy.
Anyway.
Mining.
It's very complicated, and I don't fully understand all the aspects of it. But I have a lot more confidence in Ether than I do in Bitcoin.
But you're going to be rich. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to get that computer.
Nice.
And put it together. Yeah.
Great.
What
about you, Proulx? Oh.
If my calculations are correct, it should earn me $50 a month just by running. So
Hey, $50
that's
for
pretty
free.
cool.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
Delightful. That is a good win of the week. What about you, Proulx? What's your win of the week?
I have an IRL win as well. After many, many years of wanting and waiting for the appropriate time, I adopted a dog, a little puppy.
Yay!
Yeah. So
I saw
Very
pictures
little
of
puppy.
it.
yes, very, very young puppy. Just under, well, probably just about 10 weeks at this point. So
Oh, Randy, you were talking about good ways to earn money. Cables, buying stock in cables, because Proulx is going to be buying up all of New York or the DC area cables, because apparently that's all your dog eats.
Chewing dog.
Incredible. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't even matter. Like, here's 12 toys we just bought you, but I have my
cables.
controller in my hand with the headset. Oh, hang on, I'm going to come over there and just start gnawing on that. No. So I'm sitting. Okay, so this is ridiculous. I'm sitting there today playing my Xbox, and my laptop is right next to me. And all of a sudden, I start to hear this click, 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 click noise. I'm like, what is this strange noise? I look down, and she's gnawing on the power cable to my laptop, and it's starting to short in her mouth, and she apparently didn't even realize it. I don't know. It's crazy. But, yeah, man, cables. What the heck? Anyways, she's a bit of a handful right now, but we're getting there, slowly but surely.
Nice.
And it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Was it Daisy? What was your dog's name?
Oh, Barkamedes.
Barkamedes, that's right.
Yeah, which is close to Daisy, so that was a
Very
good
clever.
guess.
That's very close.
Yeah.
Daisy.
I'm thinking, I thought it was like, yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I thought.
But other than that, I have been playing some games. As people should be aware, at this point, we hit the rollover for November, so we got a new random to-do list. So that is-
RTDL, woo!
So that is kind of what I've been focusing on, at least for the past few days. I played, well, actually, I really only got to play it today mostly, but I finished up, what was it called? Candleman, from when we did it for Reviews Ed last week. And, oh man, it's one of those games where I dreaded it. Like, I dreaded at the end. I'm like, this is going to be so boring. I know this is only going to take me a half an hour to get this level done, but it's going to be just mind-numbingly boring. And so I had to push my way through that. I finally beat that, including the DLC, so that's all done now. And then I started working on random to-do stuff. Tonight I enlisted Randy's help in Zoo Tycoon, which I haven't played in quite some time, but we got the multiplayer stuff knocked out because there's only like 3 achievements.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention that too.
Yeah, and they're all super, super easy. So that's done as well. I played a little bit of Battle Block Theater, which, man, I don't know why I didn't play that game more. It's a fun game.
It is fun.
And I remember it when it first came out. I was super excited because I'm a massive fan of Castle Crashers. And I don't know, it never grabbed me the same way, but it's still really solid.
Yep.
And I just need to go back and clean that up.
But
at some
I
point.
like those type of like quick, just one shot, quick platforming. Like, they're tough but fair.
Yep.
I do
and
like
it's super
those.
cool too because you can play multiplayer. So, and it's like you said, it's fast, it's frenetic. There's a lot of stuff going on the screen. You have to pay attention. It's very twitchy, but it's really, really fun. The achievement that I needed for Random To-Do List was for hosting a community-made playlist. And I didn't even know that you could kind of go in there and make your own levels and stuff like that. That was really cool. Again, part of the game I wasn't even aware of, but I did that for Random To-Do List, as well as play another arcade game that I got and I was excited about and then didn't really play, which was Monaco.
That game is great.
Another game. I was like playing it. I'm like, man, this is fun. Why did I not actually beat the game when I played it, all those years ago?
Oh,
So
and that's the payoff, too. Did you follow the story at all?
Oh, I didn't beat it or anything. I only had I literally got an achievement on the second level. So
Gotcha. Oh, man, yeah. Play through that game. Like, it's cool. Like, the way the story plays out, pay attention, finish the story, and it's like, yes. It's really cool.
yeah, it is. It was a lot of fun. Just the pure gameplay experience of it is really enjoyable. And of course, the visuals and the style are very interesting and unique. So I may have to go back to that and clean that up sometime.
It's and then there's some 4-player stuff there that at least some multiplayer stuff that you need. As I remember, we did a boost of that back in the day. There was 4 of us who just ripped through that whole game and completed it, and it was great. But it can get tricky at the end when you have to get all of the gold and all that stuff.
Yeah. It looks like some fun. So those
I can set up a channel.
Oh, I don't think we need a whole channel, but if anybody did really want to play, I would definitely be interested in getting that done and actually playing through it. That seems like it would be a lot of fun. And actually, the same is true for Battle Block, because I want to get that done as well. Not big priorities, but if people were like, hey, let's do it, I would jump right on board. So other than that, I've been playing through kind of the usual suspects. We're still pushing through Plants vs. Zombies and Halo 4, which I'm almost done with. I need one more achievement, which is to beat the whole game on Lone Wolf. And it's not bad. I'm sorry, on Legendary. It's called Lone Wolf, the achievement. It's not bad. It's not as bad as I thought. What's nice is that you can load up the last checkpoint, so you can skip usually at least half, if not more, of the level. And so that's going to be done pretty quick, hopefully this week. And then we can start moving on to something else. Been playing Left 4 Dead as well. And, I think, and of course, just because of this week, been playing quite a bit of Rocket League. So I'm very excited about that tournament. And you should be too. Keep an eye out, because we will be streaming all those matches coming up in the next few weeks.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been practicing a little more Rocket League. Actually, so remember I mentioned last week my son had been playing, and he woke up early on Saturday morning and was like, "Dad, I got you an achievement." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." Well, so I came home from work on Tuesday, I think, and my son's like, "Dad, I got you another achievement." I'm like, "Yes, this is great. What did you get?" He's like, I got the stocked achievement for collecting 200 items. I'm like, all right. I knew it would come eventually, but we're getting there. He might actually get me these, 535 goals in that game. Yes, I'm super pumped. We had an impromptu match, 2 nights ago. We got a little 4-on-4. My team got to warm up. I was bad. That was really not good. I'm almost embarrassed for how terrible that was. So I'm hoping tonight, a little 3v3 action, maybe I calm down a little bit. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. Some other things I've been playing this week. So I earned an achievement in the Twitch app, and that was on Saturday. It was for watching an hour worth of video, and the reason I put so much time into Twitch this last Saturday was it happened to be the weekend where my brother was participating in the Buck Hunter World Championships, and so we were watching. I knew my sister, my cousin, and a couple of my other friends were there in Vegas watching him. Actually, 2 of my friends were participating. Well, I guess you can't call my brother my friend, but so my brother and a friend of mine were participating in the tournament. And so I got to watch him compete. He unfortunately finished, I think, 5th or 6th. Walked away with $3,000. My other buddy finished 4th. He walked away with $4,000. But my brother ended up losing to the champion. Like, he got sent to the losers bracket by the champion and got eliminated from the losers bracket by the guy who played in the championship game. So, I'm sure he's pissed about it. Like, he obviously would have rather won some more money, but I think he's happy with, a free trip to Vegas and a lot of fun.
I have a question about that.
Yeah, what's up?
There was a video. I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not. Maybe you are.
Yeah.
So there's a video going on with an interview with somebody from the Big Buck Hunter Championship. It went viral. He's a little intoxicated. Is that your brother?
It is not my brother. So that guy. So I've got a story about that guy because my brother's told me about him. He actually owns a bar where they hosted one of the first tournaments, I think, or they hosted a tournament at some point. I think maybe last year, 2 years, anyway. He's very big in the community and hosts events and things like that. And he's got a smoke show of a wife, like way outside of his league. And she is like one of the top tier women competitors. Like, she wins the women's tournament frequently, or is at least in the finals frequently. And she's a smoke show. And like, he way outkicked his coverage. And so like, all he does every time is just get blasted, like absolutely just rip-roaring drunk, and then just makes a complete idiot of himself. And so it was funny to see that video because I just saw the clip and a dude with the vest on, and the headline was like "Buck Hunter interview," and that's all I needed to see. And I'm like, this is going to be just a disaster, an absolute car accident. That's not my brother, but I do know who that guy is.
Wait, so he's like totally disaster drunk in the tournament and still wins?
No. That guy usually gets eliminated early, or he doesn't participate and just helps coordinate the event. Like he's kind of in that community. But yeah, so that's just brilliant. So anyway, congrats to my brother and Mike for your gaming over the weekend there. So Monday nights are my Diablo night, and Mattism, Koosh, and Saucy have all finished Diablo 3 on the 360. I have yet to finish my gold. And I feel really guilty about playing with them on Mondays. Like, hey, you guys all just come here so I get more gold. So I feel guilty about doing that, and I really hate it, just doing a gold grind for 2 hours. So we have all moved on to Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls on the 360. So it's fun now that we're earning achievements. Like we just killed the butcher, and I earned a bunch of achievements through just doing stuff with the vendors and things. So it's nice to get back into doing that type of stuff. But now I've got this, 1.2 million gold just sitting there as my final achievement in Diablo 3. And I have no idea when I'm going to just, because that's like another 6 to 8 hours of work, just straight grinding.
Are they separate lists on the 360?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So on the one version, it's just the one version, right?
Correct.
Oh,
the Ultimate
cool.
Evil. Yeah.
I gotcha.
And that version matches the 360 Reaper of Souls edition.
Right. So
yeah.
So you basically have to do the same achievements again, right? It's kind of like a stack, or is that
kind of? Yeah. So like the lists are about 80% the same, but they take that 5 million gold and drop it to like 500,000 or something.
Oh, okay.
They add end game stuff. So like the Nephilim rifts and some of the treasure stuff, and so there's new achievements. But they repeat a lot of the old stuff. They take out all the like finish all the bosses on Inferno, like because you got an achievement for beating the Skeleton King on Inferno and the Butcher on Inferno and Magna on the Inferno. They took all those out and just have like beat Diablo on Inferno. So they took out maybe 12 of those achievements and then put in new ones. And so the list, there's actually 2 less achievements. I think it's 43 for the Reaper of Souls edition, and then 45 on the just traditional Diablo 3. But it's nice to get back to earning achievements, and so we're working through that. The long game in Diablo 3 is that you have to get all of the characters up to level 60. Oof. So that's the barbarian, the warlock, the witch hunter, the wizard, I guess, the witch hunter, all of them, the monk. And so that's going to take some time, and then you got to get one of them a level 70 hardcore instead of a level 30 hardcore. So that's tricky too. You can play with the saves on that, where you save it to a stick, and then if you die, you can just pull the stick out and reload your save, and your guy is still alive, obviously, because if you die as a hardcore character, that person doesn't come back. So there are ways to cheat that one. I've also been playing Arrow, that rhythm game where you ride on that tube. It is super fun, and I love that type of music, that kind of EDM, but like when it's tied into gameplay, right? It's like Runner 2 Future something of Rhythm Alien, where like every button press or move or something accentuates the music. So if it's like a jump, there might be a hi-hat hit, or a just whatever. But like it plays into the whole musicality of the game, and so Arrow does the same thing, and it just ties it in with some EDM, and it's just great. But it's super hard. Like I'm terrible at rhythm games, so I cannot stay on top of that stupid bar that follows around. But I'm enjoying myself, and I had a bunch of UHH on there. I've got a random to-do list on there, and I'm sure it'll pop up again, with my just for fun UHH here. One of the other UHH things I went to, and so I've just got 2 things to do here, is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I was like, oh yeah, this is backwards compatible now, so I can play it on the One. And so I went to go download it, and I have the stupid disc. So I had to put the 360 disc into my One. I'm like, all right, well, maybe it'll run better on here. At least I'll have it, whatever. So I booted it up on the One, and so instead of playing Battleborn on Wednesday, I tried to queue up to a game, and we just didn't have any players on Wednesday night. So I played Metal Gear instead. And I was only on the second mission, but if you don't know Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, it is like a Platinum game style hack and slash, very different from Metal Gear per se. This takes Raiden, the mechanized cyborg monster looking guy, and it is one of those games. We talk about this all the time. You don't really just want to jump back into this sort of very fluid, finesse-based combat mechanic because you will get wrecked. And I did that. I got absolutely demolished by everything just because, I don't remember the button combos. I don't remember how to dodge. I don't remember how to do any of these things. And so it takes so much longer just to get up and running that leading into our Rocket League matches that night was like, okay, I just got to finish this boss. Like, just hang on. Like, I'm learning these things. Don't finish the night without me playing some Rocket League with you guys, but I need to get through this, please. And then when I finally did, I was like, oh, okay. There's just a quick cutscene here at the end that I got to watch, and everyone laughed, and I realized, yeah, it's a Metal Gear game. Quick cutscenes don't exist. Like, that's just not a thing in Metal Gear games. So I skipped it. I was like, I'm not even watching the story anyway. So see ya. I ended up getting that one for the UHH, which I'm currently winning against a pudding. So not much, solace in that. But hey, I'll take a W. The final thing in my win of the week, I was complaining about the Zombie Vikings last week, I believe, and I needed to beat the game. And so what I was trying to do is enlist my kids to help me. And that caused a huge issue in my house. Like, there's just fighting, and my son and I were really getting into it. And when you die in co-op, your head falls off. And then a partner can go pick up your head and put it back on your body. And so we've got my son, daughter, and me all playing. And eventually I would run out of life. And so I would be like, come get me. Put my head back on. Let's go. Here we go. And if my son got killed, then it was just to my daughter. And my son, he's just so invested in this, just started freaking out because my daughter is 6 and just doesn't quite get these brawler type games and couldn't figure out how to pick up my head and put it back on. So she was panicking and freaking out. And so anyway, fighting in the house, got yelled at by everybody. I said, you know what? I'm just going to do this by myself. I don't know how, because you die so easily and you can't revive yourself, but I'm doing it by myself. Well, here's how you do it. Turns out they make the game really easy for single player. Like, this boss that took us 5-6 minutes to beat co-op took me a minute and a half to beat by myself, because you do extra damage, and I could get him into a stun lock, and I just ended him. And then the final boss of the game, it was no problem at all. I could just dodge things. I could just move where I needed to go. It didn't matter, and he had a third of the life that he normally would have. So I ended it quickly, and there it is. I beat the game, Zombie Vikings. And I just completed the game, beat the story. There's still cleanup that has to be done, but it is a janky game. But it's fun, and if anyone's out there wants to be playing, I know a couple people bought it recently on a sale. So if you are interested in any of that, hit me up. I'm looking to get that off my tag as well. So there we have that. Let's just do a couple quick things here in the news segment. This week, and I want to bring this up because this week was Paris Games Week. There's also BlizzCon, but the big thing was Paris Games Week, and Sony made a huge splash with a bunch of announcements that they had, and it kind of ticked me off. And the reason it ticked me off is because there were a ton of games I was really excited about that PlayStation showed off, and I'm like, man, where are Xbox's games? I want these types of games. Specifically, things that they had shown Guacamelee 2, right? Oh man, I love Guacamelee, and I want Guacamelee 2. Spelunky 2. And of course we were never going to get Infamous's Ghosts of Tsushima. Like that was going to be PlayStation exclusive anyway. But Last of Us Part 2, again, that's going to be PlayStation only as well. They showed some Monster Hunter World stuff. They showed the new Spider-Man. They showed the Shadow of the Colossus remake. And it's like, gosh, you got all these really cool games that you're announcing right before the holiday season. And I started to kind of mull on that a little bit. And I was like, you know what? This is like the most brilliant marketing thing. And I don't know why Microsoft doesn't do the exact same thing. Because what it's doing now is, granted, all of these games, nothing here is coming out for the holiday season. But you know what it is doing is it's showing people, here's what you should be excited for down the road. And guess what? A lot of you are going to be writing Christmas lists or buying something on Black Friday, and you think, man, they didn't say anything about Guacamelee 2 coming to Xbox. So it's PlayStation exclusive? Oh, Spelunky 2, PlayStation exclusive? No, eventually they'll probably come to Xbox, but they're starting on PlayStation. Call of Duty World War II stuff is getting the first download, or the first DLC. Destiny 2 gets the first DLC. Detroit Become Human. God of War. Like, geez. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff on PlayStation, and I'm in the market for a new console. Maybe I should buy a PlayStation now for Christmas instead of... whatever, the new Xbox thing, because there's all these games coming out I want to hear. Where is Microsoft's answer? Where does Microsoft come by and say, hey, yeah, we got new stuff too. Guess what? We're launching a new console, and yeah, we got 70 plus games with enhancements on them, but they're all old games, so that, that's okay, right? Like, there's nothing new coming out when the Xbox launches. So that's not like a problem, is it? But they're going to look really nice. And look, I get it. I'm going to be excited to see all that kind of stuff. But
Crackdown.
Oh yeah, that's coming. And it's just this was a great move by Sony to say, hey, guess what? We're still the leader. We've got all this amazing stuff coming out, and you guys should probably buy a PlayStation this Black Friday for, I've been seeing stuff for like $200, $230. And those are just some of the early leaks. I'm sure there'll be even less for a doorbuster or something. And I've seen $180 for Xbox One S with a game, I think. And, so they're going to be dirt cheap too. But Microsoft, I have yet to see any sort of Microsoft pushing, marketing type stuff. And the Xbox One X comes out in 4 days as of recording. Like, I don't get it, guys. I don't get it.
Let's walk down this hypothetical that you've just created, okay? Now, to be fair, I know you're a very large fan of Guacamelee. But in this scenario, somebody is Christmas shopping for a new console, so they presumably don't have a current gen one. And Guacamelee 2 is going to be the game that sways them?
No. I'm not saying it's going to sway at all, but I'm saying I just listed 15 games, and it's like, boy, it sounds like if I want to play any games, I should get a PlayStation, because what does Microsoft have that's different? Nothing. They haven't said anything.
I'm not gonna disagree with you that Microsoft's sort of...
It's death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, maybe, I guess, but we do know... we don't know... We assume that both Guacamelee and Spelunky will have Xbox versions. It's not like they said that they were exclusive or anything like that. It was Sony at a Sony event talking about games that were coming out on a Sony system.
Yep.
It's very likely that, if not at the exact same time, very shortly thereafter, those games would come out for the Xbox as well. I'm not arguing that Microsoft has really done a fantastic job of this. I don't think any of the games at that show were particularly impressive or significant, is all I'm saying.
And I don't disagree with you. I don't think there's I could say Last of Us is probably a system seller. I don't think there's like a true system seller, but again, it's that constant barrage of these are things that you can play only on PlayStation, even if that's not true. like that's what really kills me is like they have the marketing rights to Destiny, they have the marketing rights to Call of Duty, they have the marketing rights to Red Dead Redemption, so they have the marketing rights. What's the other one that Star Wars Battlefront? So it's like you will constantly see those, and the splash screen at the very end, doo-doo-doo-doo, PlayStation. Doo-doo-doo-doo, PlayStation. You're constantly being hit in the face with that. The only thing you're seeing now is Forza and Assassin's Creed. Those are the only two things right now that is showing Xbox. And you know, yes, Assassin's Creed looks amazing on the One X. From all accounts, I have yet to see it in person, but like from all accounts I can see through various sources is that it's just amazing. Great! That's really exciting. I'm so happy for them. But you're constantly being barraged by PlayStation. That's all you're seeing. And so if, like my son right now, I mean, he wants a Switch, right? It's because it's got all the characters he loves, and they're promoting the heck out of it because it's a new console. It's new stuff coming out. PlayStation's the same way. I'm watching sports, and all I'm seeing is Star Wars Battlefront and Destiny 2 and Call of Duty, and guess what? You got to play them. PlayStation. I'm not seeing, I saw 1 week of Assassin's Creed, and I just think there's just not enough market presence for it. Maybe I'm watching the wrong shows, right? Maybe, I don't know. It's
possible
that
Sony does have an exclusive right on the Disney Channel, so maybe you should switch to something else. Is all I'm saying. No, I don't disagree with you for the larger point. What you're actually saying, the actual argument that you're making here is that it seems that Sony has a much bigger presence, in the overall cultural zeitgeist here. I agree. I totally agree with you. I don't know. I think you're right. Microsoft needs to kind of invest some more resources into this stuff because I do think that the Xbox One X will grab a lot of headlines. It'll be very short-lived, though, I think. I think it's going to be, this week, essentially. And that's going to be it because, this is pretty...
Yeah, today the embargo came up, and so you're seeing a lot of people who can release reviews on the console. They can release... A lot of things I'm seeing today are speed tests on, look how fast these load times are comparatively. And they're significant. I mean, they're twice as fast. You can get into games twice as fast on the X. They look better. They run faster. We had a question here later on, but they're significantly bigger. There's some big downloads. But yeah, there's just... You're right. I mean, it's going to be exciting, and I'm excited to see what the future is. I mean, because there's a lot of people saying you're essentially future-proofing for the most, as best you can, obviously, but you're really setting yourself up for a long tail with this 4K gaming and have a really awesome system here, but it's a lot of money, and there's not really anything exclusive to talk about because one of their big exclusive properties that they have is Fable. Of course, they shut down Lionhead, but there's some news today. They're talking to Shannon Loftus about it, and they're like, Fable's very near and dear to my heart. It's actually one of the reasons I moved out here, but, we can't really talk about what's going on right now, and we don't know when we're going to get back there. And it's one of those things where it's like you've got this IP sitting here that you just can't do anything. And in this interview with where Loftus is talking to where was she talking to? She talking to GameSpot in PAX Australia, and the whole thing is essentially like, look, we kind of screwed the pooch on this one, and so we're just gonna let it kind of sit where it's gonna go hang out with Mass Effect in the vault for a while, and then at some point we'll just pull it out of the vault and figure something out when the it's not so toxic. But
I mean, you're kind of suggesting there that that's not a good thing, but I don't know how much you remember about Fable 3 when it launched. Not a lot of people were super big fans of it. It's not like people are clamoring. Again, I agree with your larger point here. It's weird to use Fable as this sort of example because
I'm just using it because it's in the news. Let me give you another one. The other tentpole or one of the big exclusives that Microsoft is going to do, the MOBA game Gigantic. Well, we got news today that the publishing arm of Gigantic Perfect World shutting them down. The developer Motiga is getting shut down. It's already shut down, actually, as of today. I mean, they just up and closed it today. Perfect World went ahead and said, yep, it is a corporate decision. It was a budgetary decision at the highest level, according to Motiga CEO Chris Chung. This was a statement to Destructoid. And, you know, I remember when E3 and they're talking about gigantic, you know, Windows 10 exclusive, gigantic. Well, then it moved to Xbox One, and then it was delayed a billion times, and then it was free to play, and it launched, and nobody played it. And I mean, it's just, you're constantly, instead of growing, all I'm seeing is wilting, and that's. Now, this is in the news. I wanted to bring it up not in the context of what we've been talking about, but in the context of, as an achievement hunter, if you have Gigantic on your tag, because it's a free-to-play game, you're going to want to get on that and finish that thing up, because they have fired everybody. They've closed Motiga down. There is no other developers here. They are retaining a small team to continue to keep it open. But that's it. Like, they're not going to, and let me look and see if I can find this statement here. Although a small team will continue, this is a press release that they sent out. Although a small team will continue to work on Gigantic for an indeterminate amount of time, the rest of Motiga has been let go due to what Chung describes as this, and I mentioned, they're just, cutting the losses there. So if you have Gigantic on your tag, you should go and play it. You should finish the achievements, because that has a very soon to be an issue. I would imagine. There was this weird side comment that he made that also kind of filled me with a little bit of concern. He was talking about, hey, it was great. I mean, I have a wonderful team, and I'm really proud of what we've built. This is the head of Motiga, the ex-head of Motiga. And then this final comment here on Game Informer's article said, it should be noted that Motiga is not the only team affected by Perfect World decision, according to Chung. Other Perfect World properties could meet a similar fate in the near future. I don't like that comment. I don't like that statement. And so that immediately sent me into what does Perfect World own that might suffer the same fate? So Perfect World is, they do free-to-play games, mostly on the PC, but there are some Xbox crossovers. I didn't realize how many studios they had, but so they are publishing things that would certainly affect us. Livelock, I just started playing that one. That could be affected, although I don't think that's necessarily server-based. That might be client-based. Neverwinter is on there. Star Trek Online on there. Torchlight and Torchlight 2, I don't think those have...
No, those are fine.
I don't think those have any issues. Of course, Gigantic. And then they own Turtle Rock now. I forgot that they bought up Turtle Rock after Evolve fell apart. So they're supposed to come out with... They're supposed to have an unannounced Turtle Rock IP that was supposed to come out last year, which didn't. So I have no idea what they're doing here. But those are just kind of some things to keep in mind if... I don't know how lucrative Neverwinter and Star Trek and those other online games through Perfect World are, but if they're not profitable, they're going away.
Oh,
so
man, that means...
Buy up those loot boxes.
I need to... I've been dragging my feet on doing Star Trek Online, but I may have to do it. It's like so long. It's a huge, massive completion, but I think I might have to do it, because if this is the writing on the wall... I might as well get in before it's all done.
But now, is this the death of these free-to-plays? Like, are we seeing that just the market cannot support these free-to-play games anymore? Like, there's so many loot boxes out there that for games that you actually have to buy and then pay loot boxes, that your straight free-to-play loot box only games can't survive? Is that what I'm seeing? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that the writing on the wall?
It would make sense that they would be the first to go anyways. Obviously, if they're not getting any source of income and they're allowing people to play, a good chunk of their game without being subsidized at all, yeah, to me, it would be totally reasonable that seeing these people go first could mean a shift away from these sorts of things.
Yeah. I don't know. Randy, you've been quiet for a little bit. Anything that we just discussed that's percolating in your brain?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily the death of all of those type of games, because I think people do still spend money on them. But maybe just kind of trimming the fat.
Yeah.
You know, like we can't have 300 MMORPGs. People just don't have that much time. So,
you know, Phil Spencer said something to those effect too, with everybody saying like, oh my God, we're never going to get single player games ever again. And Phil was like, hey, slow down. Like, yes, multiplayer games are super lucrative right now, but at some point there will be so many multiplayer games that you'll launch a game like Lawbreakers and you cannot make any money. So then people are saying, hey, you know what? There's not a lot of story-based single-player games out there. Maybe I can find a home in that, and it'll shift back. Everyone should just calm down, and so maybe that's what's happening. We're just shifting back to normal.
Well, I don't know about that. Did you see the news about Call of Duty World War II that I put in here?
I didn't. Let's hear it.
Well, so in Call of Duty World War II, there are loot boxes. Apparently, you can't actually spend money on them yet.
Okay.
I don't know why that is, but I'm sure you will be able to very soon. And there are like daily missions to get some kind of social points or something. I don't know what they do.
Sure.
And when somebody gets a loot box, what happens is it drops from the sky and then opens up for other people to see. So you can see all these other people and all the good loot they're getting.
Yeah, this is like the hub world. Like, so you're in the hub world
Something
getting
like that,
ready
yeah.
to do your mission or do whatever, go to multiplayer. Like how Plants vs. Zombies had it, where you're kind of in your little fortress or whatever. I remember hearing about this.
I don't understand.
And then,
well, I'm sorry, just real quick. Why get upset about this? This was actually a feature in World War II, so they're just trying to stay true to history here.
oh, that's right. I forgot loot boxes dropped from the sky and opened up in front of other people automatically.
A feature of World War II. Like, that's such a funny way to put it.
So yeah, there's that, and now there's a mission for watching 3 other people open loot boxes.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
bad. Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
bad.
gross?
That's
What does it get
literally
you?
an advertisement. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it is. Okay, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
That is fun. Oh my gosh!
So,
and how funny is this too? Like, so I'm reading, I'm reading a thing here, but the headline right above this says, "Would you kindly look at this?" Like, it's brilliant.
It's bad. And actually, before I didn't even have a chance to put it into our notes here, but Activision also filed for another patent, and this one wasn't granted. This was just filed.
Sure.
But what it is so, you know how in Call of Duty, etc., when you get killed, it shows you who killed you and where they are,
Yes.
things like that. So the idea behind this is it also shows you what weapon they were using or what
Sure.
gear they were using. And if it's a microtrans, and in that menu, like on that screen where you're angry and, you know, because you were just killed and you're upset, the patent is for an instant buy button.
Oh
to
no!
buy that weapon.
Gosh.
That potentially, like, the wording makes it sound like one click. Like, it's just like if you have payment on file,
Yeah.
you push that button and you buy it.
Like, equip now.
Yeah.
That's not possible, though. I mean, not
I
that
don't
it's
think
not
it'll be
it's not
possible
possible
on
on the
Xbox,
Xbox, but yeah.
But on PC,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
maybe PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm not sure about PlayStation's policy.
Why?
Yeah,
why
I'm not
couldn't
sure
it be
either,
possible though?
Because
like, I mean, go ahead.
It has to It always has to verify.
Yeah, you can't
Xbox does.
one click buy. I think.
But-
I think
but
for
what if
reasons to prevent things like this.
But what if it was like? What if you had a server-based currency inside of the game engine? So you would
Then you could
buy
probably do that.
Call of Duty points, right? And then those you could spend in game. You could probably bypass it in that regard, couldn't you?
I'm not sure that you can.
You think
I
it's a
would
terms
think
of
so.
service thing?
Yeah, I think again they're kind of hyper aware of that sort of thing.
But
and you every time you've ever bought anything on your Xbox, it goes through Microsoft.
I get that, but what I would
not
say
with in-game currency.
not with in-game currency.
On the dashboard, you buy 1,000 Call of Duty dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're
and then
saying.
when you're playing Call of Duty, it says, "Oh, this gun is only 500 Call of Duty dollars. You can buy it right now."
Yep.
It may be the case that that's possible, but I would imagine
then there's no transaction for Microsoft.
The
I
transaction
imagine
has already
Microsoft
happened.
would not be pleased with that, or anybody would really not be pleased with that because they're not going to get their cut of it. So I'm sure.
Well,
that
they'll get their cut off of
when you buy the Call of Duty.
The Call of Duty dollars. It's like Microsoft points all over again. They're just encouraging you to buy them. You know, hey, you should have your vault full of Call of Duty bucks, because if you get into a game and some dude 360 no scopes you, you can buy that 360 no scope teabagger for 500 Call of Duty bucks.
500 gold, man.
Because then what you could do
gross,
is
though?
Maybe that's the second part of the patent is your instant buy. If you don't have enough in your Call of Duty vault, that it then sends you to the store for your 2-step verification.
It does also specify that if you don't have payment on file, that it'll bring up entering your credit card information right there.
Again, I think we should definitely clarify that. You said that this was just something they filed for. It's clearly that
they have not been granted, but they're trying.
Yeah,
like that's the thing.
The other piece is, I think, on that patent that is an attachment to the controller, which is actually a vacuum that reaches into your pocket and sucks the money right out. Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know if that'll get granted, but that's a prototype.
It's so you can pay in cash.
Yeah, right. It goes into your couch and finds all your loose change. Yeah.
The next Call of Duty, special edition will have a credit card slide reader, right on your controller. That'll be perfect.
It'll be called Call of Duty $2.
Nice.
Oh, man. It's gross.
Yeah, it is pretty
gross. This is getting out of hand. We should move over to... I wanted to mention this Niantic piece here, that they went and bought a social media company. So Niantic is growing, and they want to be able to do Pokemon Go stuff like a social media game. Literally just wanted to mention that. So if you're clamoring to have some more, to actually have the trading that they promised in Pokemon Go, or more significant social features, maybe
keep in mind.
Do you think maybe they just bought that company to expand the server capacity / get more staff quickly?
Could be. I don't know.
Quickly. Keep in mind, again, that the trading and battling feature of Pokemon Go were announced in the initial trailer, which at this point was over a year and a half ago. So just keep in mind, Randy, we ragged on Rock Band 4 for being half of a game.
Yeah.
For a long
At least Pokemon
time.
Go is free.
Yeah, well, it is microtransaction based, but yes, it is. But, Niantic is... frustrating, to say the least, anyways.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, we got some feedback from our listeners. I want to start with Oz Bundy Boy. He asks, are you guys getting an Xbox One X? And if so, what would be the first game you're going to play in 4K? I think collectively on the show, unless Randy is indeed in 5th place, none of us are getting Xbox One X's. Oh, no, Proulx, did you buy one?
I did. In fact.
You just bought that new fancy TV. You got to use something with it.
It's true, and in fact, I'm kind of at a bit of an impasse with what I want to buy. So I actually asked the community members on Discord, what do they think? I kind of wanted to play a game that I haven't played yet that has the Xbox One X enhancements.
Yeah.
So I put up a little poll, and I said, what should I get? Quantum Break or ReCore? And it seemed to be the case that everybody was saying ReCore. But then everybody started suggesting Doom as well. And I know, Randy, you're in the Doom camp, I think.
Oh, yes. And it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous on, before the enhancement.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of stuck between, I think my 3 choices right now are ReCore, Doom, and the new Wolfenstein. I really like
Keep in mind, Doom at this point, you should be able to easily find for $20.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
That'd be the most cost effective. Everything I'm hearing is that Assassin's Creed Origins is the best looking right now, apart from Forza 7. But
and just one more comment on Doom. It's very easy to jump into. It's not like, I feel like Quantum Break being kind of a story-driven game that you're going to have to put some time into it. Doom is just, you're Doom guy, you kill demons.
Shoot some demons, yeah.
You shoot stuff fast and go bam, bam, explode, rip their heads off.
Yeah, no,
I
blood everywhere.
Thoroughly enjoyed Quantum Break, but I feel like I was in the minority there. I think people were expecting a lot more than it was. I think visually it's very good, and so I'd be curious especially with the file size on that one, that I think I'm sure it would look really great. That's why I would pass on Recore, is because even with the enhancements, it's not as visually appealing. I don't think you're not going to blow your socks off, and I just don't know about what the upgrades to Doom, and you got to assume Wolfenstein 2 would take pretty good advantage of it because they've been developed, knowing these things were coming. They didn't have to go back and upgrade the textures and do kind of stuff like that. It was built with the intention of like, let's get the best effing textures we can, and then they can downscale them for the other systems. In
the spirit of the question, though, I will say 2 games that I'll play fairly soon after I get the system that I'm sure are going to look amazing. Number 1, of course, will be Rocket League. I'll end up playing Rocket League right away, and it doesn't matter how it looks. I'm just excited to play Rocket League. And then I've been playing quite a bit and kind of continue to play quite a bit of Gears, which I'm sure, it's already a very, very pretty game. And with the 4K updates that they're doing, I think it's going to be really, really a good game to show off the graphics and stuff like that. So I'll be playing that as well. Some of the older games, I'm sure, actually, we may be moving into Halo 5 pretty soon for boosting. Halo 5 is also getting an update, a 4K update. So a lot of the games that I'm already kind of in I'm really, actually, I forgot completely. The 4K update for Clicker Heroes is probably going to be my number 1 thing. We're going to jump right into that. So
yeah, you're talking.
Yep.
Yeah, Randy, do you have any comments on this?
No, I will update, though. I'm pretty sure I am not 5th because I think I found a new person that I did not factor in today that was ahead of me.
Jerk.
So probably no Xbox for me.
Oh.
Do you think you'll get one in the next year?
If I get a raise, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are there no runner-up prizes? Was it just specifically?
Well, the top 5.
Yeah, it was top 5,
yeah,
and I think it was by some sort of random draw. I don't know. Maybe they'll see the numbers and like, this is crazy. We got to give out some more of these. I don't know. It's been totally silent, and they said there was going to be an announcement before the console came out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Because if I don't get, if I'm getting an Xbox One X, it'll either be Christmas or my birthday in February. And if I don't get it this time, I'm hoping that next year. That's really the only times it makes sense to spend this much money on something like that. I don't foresee, yes, I tend to get a lot of money back for taxes, but I also have a family, and they get really mad when it's like, hey, instead of going on a family vacation, let's just buy Dad an Xbox One X. How does that sound?
Daddy, why are we so hungry?
And a 4K TV. Like, that's cool, right, guys?
Yeah.
Because my other thing, too, like, in your situation as well, is I play on a monitor, and a 4K monitor costs almost as much as a 4K TV. Yeah. So, at least last time I looked, it may have changed, but it's a lot of expense for something I'm gonna get almost no
immediate
use out of.
Yeah,
so I just don't think.
Yeah, I got my long wish list, but it's not likely.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. Like, if I had a bunch of extra spending money, maybe I'd get one.
Yep.
But like, that's just the reality. Like, even the faster loading times would barely make a difference because I don't play that many big games that often. So I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of underestimating the advantage, but
no, I think
it just doesn't seem right for me at any time in the near future. In
a week or two, you'll still have the pretty graphics, the shiny, all the new bits and stuff. It's just. But essentially, when it comes down to it, the core experience is still going to be the same. And I'm okay with that. I'm very excited about the new stuff. I want to see the shiniest stuff that we can see here. I'm very excited about that, clearly. But I'm also in a position where I can afford it without any real issues. So I'm excited for it. I think there's a niche. I think there's a good chunk of people like me who, we're at the midpoint of this generation, and we kind of want a little bit of bump if we can do it. But for most people, it's just probably not worth it, honestly.
Gotcha. We had a question from the Joe Dean in relation to this, and he says, what do you think of the huge game sizes that are coming with these 4K updates? He said, Gears of War 4 is 110 gigs, to which JZarp jumps in. JZarp43 says, hey, Quantum Break is 178 gigs. Those are some massive files.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not sure what your data cap situations are, but I know that could be a problem for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a problem for almost everybody because people are going to realize that their ISPs actually do have data caps, but they don't tell you until you go over them. And the fact that the console ships with a 1 terabyte hard drive in it, you're going to probably be able to use 800 gigs of that, and you're going to fit 4-5 games on there.
Okay.
We got into this.
I don't know.
We've got into this argument before. I don't think it's already a premium console for a very select group of people. You're not going to own an Xbox One X if you don't have a solid internet connection, if you don't have a hard drive. I think it's a non-issue for people. It's not the
solid internet connection. It's the hidden data caps.
By the way, everybody in the United States, at least, write to your congresspeople. Net neutrality coming up here very soon. Just this is related, and I'm not getting political. But if you like not having these sorts of issues, we can do away with them. But yeah, I understand. I mean, I get it. It's outside of the realm of control for a lot of people, and
and there's no alternative, which is the other problem. It's like it's not like you can write to Microsoft and be like, "I'll pay you $10. Send me the 4K assets on a disc." Like, send me the patch on a disc or whatever. No. Like, there's no other way to get it. It's like you have to, like, plan these games out and stagger them.
Here's my month for Gears, and then next month I can do this one. And
I can download maybe 2 of these in a month.
Yeah, or you're looking at your phone on the 30th. Like, okay, I just squeeze out a couple more games
I can squeeze a couple more in this month.
Again, my argument would be that even ISPs that kind of enforce data caps also give you the option to pay for more of that. And I'm not saying that's right. I don't think that practice is practical or good. I'm just saying I don't think that's the same segment of the market that are actually buying the Xbox One X. I think most of those people who want the highest end system that they can get, who want all of these things, are prepared to deal with that situation. And we've had this argument before. We don't need to get into it, but
yeah, that's
I don't know. I don't think
they're crazy big though.
But
well, I mean, I think they are, but I think they're probably streaming. They're probably watching other things. They might be, broadcasting. Like, all that stuff costs data. Like, they're obviously savvy in using data, and so I mean, their ISP still might say, hey, gosh, you're really using it a lot. Now you're downloading a whole bunch of files. Like, that seems pretty. I don't think this is a problem just for the average consumer. I think even the savvy consumers, I have an unlimited data package. It's like, sure, but unlimited. That unlimited means that toward the end of the month, when you've used up way too much, we're just going to go ahead and governor your whole thing and just slow your internet down to nothing.
That's true. That's the other thing that they may do is, yes, it's unlimited, but after a gig or a terabyte, you are down to dial-up speed.
Yeah.
For the rest of the month.
That'd be gross.
And and the other thing too is I remember this was a number of years ago, and I don't imagine this is the case anymore, but one of my good friends' sister had a cell phone plan that was called, it said in the plan that it was unlimited texting. Well, at the end of the month comes around, her cell phone bill is like $200-$300 from texting. And so they're like, what's this? We have unlimited texting. They're like, oh no, unlimited texting is 1,200 texts.
Yeah.
You can get the real unlimited texting. So there was another plan that was like, I don't think it was called Real Unlimited, but like there was another plan that was actually unlimited, but wasn't, like they had the unlimited plan.
I seem to think of
like, how can you even do that? How can you even call it unlimited?
I thought there was an old plan where it was like, no, texting is unlimited. What that meant was only texts that you received were free, but if you sent one back out, that cost you money.
That's nice.
And I think with these very, very high game sizes, I think we're going to start to see more people hitting these caps and finding these things. And unfortunately, a lot of places in the US, you don't have an alternative.
Yeah.
If your ISP says, yeah, all our plans are capped at a terabyte, well,
yeah, you're
that's
kind
too
of stuck.
bad. Because like in both of my houses I've lived in here in New York, I've had one option. Like in Berkeley, I had the illusion of a competitor. So we had Comcast, where for I think it was like 50 something a month, we got like 35 or 50 megabits a second.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could go to AT&T for $60 a month for 5. So technically there was competition, but not really.
Right.
So yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm just a negative Nancy.
Fire, awesome. Well, we're running out of time here, so we just have a few more things I want to touch on. Smirnov sent us a message on Twitter. He says, "Hey, I just listened to the latest podcast, guys, and I think you're way off." He didn't say way off. I think you're off on the VR stuff. There are already 4 games out there with achievements. And Cool Kid Joe's like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, what are they?
That's funny.
And he says, Luna, Super Hot, the Elevator one, and Zoo Tycoon show that they are VRR enabled in the store. And so that you can earn achievements in those games, and they have virtual reality components, to which a.k.a. Yodes says, yeah, he's got a buddy doing testing on those games with the Microsoft mixed reality stuff, and apparently there's more games coming. So I wasn't aware of that stuff. But they're coming.
Let us know when they hit double digits, and then maybe I'll care. I don't know. It seems...
Well, but it's a start.
I don't know.
I mean,
that's
the
more.
door's
That's
open.
more than I thought, though, especially for the mixed reality, because I didn't really see that going anywhere in gaming. I mean, again, it's cool, and for something like Minecraft, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But
that
just
tech
generally...
demo they showed a few years ago was awesome. Like, that was super cool. Like, you could do Minecraft on your desk there.
Right.
I don't think that's practical. It doesn't seem to be the case that they even want to push that sort of thing. But it was really cool, like the idea to think that you could do that, and that was awesome. Yeah,
it looks like Smirnov's also going to buy that new Samsung headset that has the virtual reality. I think it's a mixed reality headset through the Microsoft Store. He just was replying to Cool Kid Joe about, hey, what might be some options for me. So that was one of those there. I
think Acer just came out with one that's available.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch coming out now. Even like more affordable. I was just looking at like the Target ad or whatever. They have like 6 different brands of VR headsets, and you got to kind of like filter through and be like, all right, what's this garbage phone one, and which is actually like a real headset. Mm-hmm. But buyer beware. But yeah, they're out there. They're coming. It's great to hear that they're at least introducing some things with achievements. But I guess we'll see when we get a lot more. Final question I want to touch on, and it came from NBA Kirkland. He says, what do you guys think of the Mein Leben? Is that how you... Mein Leben?
Oh, yes, and the new
achievement.
Wolfenstein.
Yes, he says, you guys think it's fair, unfair? Do you think that the devs should change it in some way? And he posted the forum thread where there's some discussions about it going on right now, and they're not pleasant. One of them was somebody said that they had played the game for like 5 hours and it just up and crashed. And Big L was like, hey, if the game's known to crash, you got to wait for a patch. He thinks the achievement is very fair and that someone will get it. The achievement asks you essentially is a no-death run on the hardest difficulty, beating the entire game without saving, right? A one playthrough sitting.
No saves, no continues, one life.
Also, keep in mind that both the New Order and the Old Blood are not easy games by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, and this is a difficulty above the hardest difficulty on those games. Yeah. So Mein Leben not only doesn't let you save and only gives you one life, the actual difficulty is harder as well. There's more enemies and there's less stuff or whatever.
Now that being said, and from someone who's literally considering picking up this game very soon, I'm all for it. I kind of like. There's always got to be an Uber tier kind of difficulty for achievements. Like this would be an achievement that you would be super proud to have. This would be truly a rare achievement, And if it's legit, if it's possible to get it, and like we mentioned, if they fix some of the technical issues, so people aren't wasting 5 hours of their life at a time, where it literally just took skill, just pure skill to get this achievement and one good run, I think I'm okay with it. I think that's fair, and I would instantly give props to anybody that would take the energy and effort to go through it.
Well, I don't disagree with that. I think my biggest hang-up is the time commitment. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with it if you could take a break. Like, or maybe if you had, 3 save spots, or not even a save, but, 3 pause spots. Because it's,
well, you can pause,
you can pause
as much as you want.
So you can leave it on
it's a single player,
overnight,
I guess. You just hit the... and let it go.
Yeah, you can pause whenever you want.
Maybe I feel a little better about that then. But I think of like the Bladder of Steel or those, and it's like, who has 10 hours you can just stand there and do
it's
nothing?
Not. But that's part of an achievement like this. Yeah. This is an achievement that that is not for everyone, and not everyone is going to get.
Yeah.
And I think, like Proulx said, I am totally for that. Now, that being said, I do have some issues with this achievement. One, the crashing. Huge problem.
Yeah, it has to be stable.
If you're going to put an achievement like this in a game and your game crashes at all, you shouldn't put it in your game.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, you can't have that. 2, you can't skip the cutscenes. That's a big problem.
Right.
Because not only does that extend your run in the actual time it requires to complete it, you're going to be spending the bulk of your time practicing, not doing this run. Mm-hmm. And that makes all of your practice take so much longer, especially in a heavily story-driven game like Wolfenstein. Sure. And I don't know, I feel like that's just somebody not even testing this mode. Like, that's the fact that you can't skip the cutscenes, or that the cutscenes even appear on that difficulty at all, seems sloppy to me.
Yeah, and to be honest,
it should just not have cutscenes, because to unlock that difficulty, you have to play the game on a different difficulty. Like, I don't think it's unlocked off the bat. Yep. So
I think.
Oh no, you do. You have to beat it on the hardest difficulty to unlock Mein Leben. Yeah,
because I think if they go and patch it, I think stability, though, they're gonna want to fix that regardless. Like, I'm assuming they're working on that now, just because that they can't have games that keep crashing like that. But if there is a patch that addresses this, I would be okay if they just added skippable cutscenes. Like, I think I agree. Totally. I don't think this needs to be nerfed per se. Now, I like the idea of the Mario Maker games where you have to beat it to let it go, right? So if a developer is like, hey, I can do it, and they they have a video of them beating this and saying, yes, it can be done because I did it, then the achievement could go in. Then I'm all for it. But if it's like, look, it's such a bullet hell at the end, it can't be done, then I have a problem with that.
Well, and reading the thread, I mean, I haven't read it. I think I read it yesterday, the day before. So there's probably a bit of new discussion, but what the general consensus was there's some glitches you can use to get through some of the game to kind of speed up the runs. There's you can stealth through most of the game, but the problem is when the game is that hard, the only viable way to get through the game is stealth. But because you die so fast in the parts where you can't stealth, it becomes kind of unfair. And, people were saying it's like, despite that, yes, we still think it's doable, except for the final boss.
Right.
Which is really frustrating because you're going to have to play that whole game up to that point.
Yeah.
And then you can't, then you die on the final boss in one shot or whatever. And I just am thinking, like, it took me probably like an hour to beat the final boss in the New Order on the hardest difficulty.
Sure.
And that was just the boss. Like, that wasn't even the whole
Yeah.
level.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even imagine doing that without dying, because it's like, it is so easy. You make one mistake, that's it. You're dead. Like, it's not like you take one bullet and then you're okay, I gotta be careful. I already got shot once. No, it's just like you're dead.
Yeah. And this game is asking not only, to get, you could go 6 hours to get to that point, and then you make your one mistake on the boss battle, and then you're done, and you just wasted all that time. And it's like, again, I think it's okay. But it is a brutally difficult achievement.
Yeah.
And now I disagree with the word fair or unfair. I don't think it's either. I mean, I just think it's difficult. It doesn't have to be fair.
Yeah,
like, it can be a hard achievement.
I would call it
by fair. I think we
unfairly
mean
difficult.
Possible. I mean, essentially possible.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody could feasibly do this, I don't know. We assume that somebody tested it and has done it. So that's kind of, I think, what we mean by fair.
Nobody has unlocked it.
I mean by the developer. Yeah. I mean, but
oh yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, who knows?
I think if a developer did this, there would be skippable cutscenes.
That might be true.
That might be true. Basically, if you try this achievement for an hour, you're going to say, we need skippable cutscenes in this mode, because, after you die 2 times and then you have to watch the whole intro 2 times. Yeah.
I bet.
So, yeah, I hope they address that. I don't like the idea of them patching it. Now, that would mean I'd put it on my tag in a heartbeat, because the rest is fine. But I think it kind of sets a bad precedent for hard achievements like this. And I do think part of what makes our hobby so fun is achievements
air quotes.
Like this. And, well, it is fun. It's always fun. Even if you're playing games that aren't fun, it's still fun.
Like Smoke and Mirrors and Desert Bus, or Roundabout, I mean.
Yeah.
Super fun.
The thing that makes it fun is that you see this achievement, you're like, man, that's impossible.
Yeah.
And then you see someone get it.
That's fine.
Or you get it. Or you get it. And there aren't many of those kind of achievements anymore.
I was talking, so back to that Zombie Vikings thing when we were playing, and like, we had been working on that boss, the 3 of us, my 2 kids and I, for like 40 minutes. We had been just chipping away, trying to get it. We were trying to figure out the mechanics. We were getting a little bit of a rhythm going, and we had to go somewhere that night. And my wife freaked out, like, you are showing the kids that it's more important to play video games than go out and be social and go to a Halloween party or something. And I'm like, but I know the payoff of this epic win, this moment, earning this achievement with how much we've put into it right now, the 3 of us would be way more satisfied and gratified in having completed that. Like, I know that sensation, and it's going to, for me, I can't talk for my kids because I don't know, but for me, that's going to be way better than going to a Halloween party. Like, hands down, the amount of effort I've put into getting that achievement is going to pay off way more than being social with other people. And that's a terrible thing to teach kids. And like, so I get it. I immediately turned off the game. But
you are being social with your kids. You're all playing a game together on your couch or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, but I get it, and it's that feeling. I mean, I understand how tense it would feel to play this game and get to that final boss and putting that last bullet in him. Like, I've seen the guy who broke the Tetris Grandmaster record, right? I saw that dude freak out. I saw that kid freak out when he got that shiny Pokemon that he'd been trying forever to get. Like, those moments are so amazing. And so that's why it's okay to have achievements like this. It is okay.
Yeah.
It's hard as, super hard, but it's okay.
And it's going to annoy some people.
Yeah.
It's probably going to annoy a lot of people, actually, because, you see this and you're like, oh, I'm never going to get that. But you can. It's just going to take a lot of work. It's not easy and it's not for everyone, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Not every game needs to be easy. Not every game needs to be completable by everyone. And that...
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a match to go play, Proulx. And so we were talking about achievements that are butt hard. How much more difficult would they be if they were discontinued or unobtainable? Do we have any knobs and discos this week, Randy?
We have a lot.
Oh, no. Again?
We do.
Did they turn on the EA servers and then turn them back off again?
No.
Oh. These are new ones?
New ones.
Shut up. What's happening? Is it the California fires? Are they burning down all the servers?
They're burning down all the servers.
The server farm is on fire?
I don't know what's going on.
Let's hear them, Randy.
We'll get going. So the discontinued flag has been added back to a storage solution in Halo Reach. I assume it was never obtainable. Somebody probably cheated it and lied.
Jerks.
That's my guess. I don't know for sure, but
I actually...
That's my guess.
Don't know, because I'm pretty sure when we got the notification, somebody hopped on there. I'd have to go back and check, but I thought somebody from the community went, 2 or 3 people. I think it was up for like a day or two.
Maybe it just kind of had a good little blip and then died again.
God, who broke it?
Like I said, I haven't looked closely, but that just kind of sounds like
that just screams of Big L.
But next, the box in a China shop achievement in Unbox Newbie's Adventure is unobtainable. Everything in Dragon Mania Legends for Windows Phone is discontinued. The No One Left Behind achievement in Dead by Daylight has been fixed. It is no longer discontinued.
Hooray! Oh, I felt like you were going to say a butt. Okay, good. But it's broken again.
No, it's back. The discontinued achievement discontinued flag has been added to the Use Snap Mode achievement in Demand 5 for obvious reasons. Unobtainable flag has been added to I'm the Best and Bonus Perfectionist in Big Buck Hunter Arcade. Those I've suspected have been unobtainable since launch. They were just flagged now, probably with the attention of it going on sale. Unobtainable has been added to Messiah Maniac and Thank You in Shiny. Discontinued flag was added to It's a Start, Now We're Talking, and Like a Boss in Tiger Woods PGA Tour 13. And the unobtainable flag has been removed from the No More Heroes achievement in Starpoint Gemini 2. And that is all.
That is all.
So it's not all bad news, but it's
mostly
a lot of news. There is, now, I will say this too, is we may have some discontinued achievements coming up in Modern Combat 5 for Windows Phone and Windows 8. Gameloft has announced that it will kind of have a split where they're no longer updating the Windows version, but the servers might stay on. It might not lose Xbox integration, but it also might on the next update. So if you want to finish that game, try, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And another Gameloft game, Dungeon Hunter 5, is no longer being supported. Now, Gameloft stated the servers will stay on, the microtransactions will stay on, so you can probably play that game and finish it. It's just not getting any more updates.
Okay.
So
perfect.
Maybe, but generally Gameloft is dropping support for all of their Xbox for Windows Phone games. So
get those phones going.
If you have server-based games, they're probably going to die very soon. So just a warning. There's no confirmation of that.
Yes.
I mean, there's confirmation of Gameloft dropping support, but no confirmation that everything's going to shut down.
That is a lot of prioritization that we as achievement hunters need to focus on. There's a lot
because they're
going
all
on.
very long.
Goodness gracious. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. It's not all done with this episode, but certainly with you two hosts. I do have a community roundup here, and you better believe I'm going to talk about what transpires in the next 15 minutes when we go play some Rocket League action. I'm going to record on Monday, so I'll hopefully be less bitter about it, but I'll tell you when Proulx has his second game lined up. I want to thank everybody so much for listening, and we really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some fun things to do in the community, whether it's our contests like the random to-do list or the Gamertag Challenge or whatever, or these tournaments that we're running or other community boosting sessions. We hope you guys can find a home here. Come play with us. We're just a bunch of fun achievement hunters that, we just got a small little community that we like to be a part of. So if you're curious about where you can find us, head over to our forums, forum.z2z.com. That's a place you can find contests and everything that we do over there. Or if you're interested in setting up some gaming sessions or being a part of the community, you can come chat with us over at discord.me/Freamhole. And Freamhole is spelled FREAMWHOLE. Of course, you can contact us in a bunch of different ways, like Twitter @Z2Z, ZEDTOZED, or our email address, contact@Z2Z.com. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our patrons out there who continue to support us, just chipping in a little, a lot, whatever you can. It is so amazingly appreciated. Nothing is expected, but guys, you really help us keep the show running. We thank you so much for all of your generosity. And we want to continue to give back to that community. So, prizes, things that we can do with that Patreon money and keep the show and this podcast up and going. So if you enjoy it, that's one way you guys can help out, patreon.com/Z2Z. If you can't or don't want to or don't care, the least you could do, not even the least you can do, but one free way that you can help us out is to give us a rating over at iTunes. Hopefully you like it. Hope you give us 5 stars. If you think we're worth it, a rating and review goes a long way, and it's totally free. So if you can take a moment to do that, thank you so much. We read them on the air. We just haven't had any new ones really recently, at least that the bot has picked up. I guess I don't know. I don't go over to the Canada iTunes store that often. So thank you, everybody who helped make this show possible. Really appreciate it. Randy, Proulx, do you guys want to tell people where they can find you if you care? Nope.
Yep. You can find me on Twitter @Randy2727 or Crandy on True Achievements.
Fantastic. And Proulx, you're already playing Rocket League, aren't you?
I am. And I've played 4 matches. No, I haven't. Yeah, actually. But you can find me on Twitter @OneUpDan. That's the number 1 of the word. Everywhere else, Xbox TA, you can find me under Proulx. And if you haven't seen it in writing, good luck spelling.
There, delightful. So, on behalf of Randy and Proulx, I have been Brandon, and thank you so much for listening. And all of you achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, we will catch you next episode. See you later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Hey, everybody, it's time for another community roundup here. Before I get into the community roundup things, I want to mention there was one item from the news that we talked about was Perfect World shutting down Motiga, the makers of Gigantic, and we had mentioned that one of the comments was that there might be some other developers affected. Well, we also found out after recording the show that Runic Games is also being shut down. Those are the makers of Torchlight 2. So they have also been affected. We can have more discussion on that in next week's show, which is big episode 100. But for now, let's move on to the contest roundup. We are finally finishing the first round of the Rocket League tournament. So the first round games have all been taken care of, and we did not beat Proulx and his team. My team, we got shut out, which was a bummer, but I felt like the games felt competitive, but never really in doubt. I don't know. But I had so much fun playing. It was really great. Those games go surprisingly quick. So I think next time we might maybe expand the amount of games you need to win, let it go a little longer. I know Stu had mentioned he had some ideas about how to improve the contest for next time, but in the meantime, we are down to our final 4 teams. So we have a couple of games that are being worked on right now about when they might be able to be played. If you missed any of the video of those, you can head over to, I know Chin Doctor has a lot of the videos, and Proulx has videos on their Mixer pages, and we are working on getting those over into our YouTube channel, so Z2Z.com's YouTube channel. So you can go find us over there, and hopefully we have those videos up in the near future. They were a lot of fun. Again, I can't wait to do it again. I don't know how frequently we're going to do it throughout the year, but certainly there should be some time coming up probably after Christmas. Anyway, we also have the True Achievement Score Challenge. It is in period 43. And as far as the teams go, well, there are 16 teams left. And unfortunately, the last team we are following, Big Willie 4.0, Miserly Pluto's team, fell. They were eliminated. They used 6,000 points in bonuses and fell 258 TA short. So they were the only team eliminated last period, but that is it. So of the remaining 16 teams, there are no Z2Z listeners that I'm aware of. Again, if you are one, let me know, and we can keep track of you. Otherwise, we will wait till we get probably to the final 4 and make some announcements at that time. As far as the individual goes, we have 23 individuals left. Redemption Denied still alive in the individual contest, so we will continue to follow that. As far as the UHH3 goes, we are into week number 8. The eliminations in round 3. Chin Doctor ends up beating Eridor 20-16. Iron Fist of Snuff over Gil de Ray 18-14. And unfortunately, B. Smiddle falls to Snake Fan Solid 1 17-4. For elimination round 2, Chin Doctor heads up against Erod 550, and Iron Fist of Snuff goes up against Drelzar. I didn't see any community matchups this time around, so it is what it is. But I have not a pudding this time. He's already got two achievements earned for against me this week. So, hey, that's a good start, right? I got my work cut out for me. Just want to mention, again, reiterate, it's the new month. October is upon us. By the time this comes out, I likely will have closed all of the contests for October, and we'll start doing payouts probably on episode 100. That's coming up next week. So I won't mention last month's contest, but we do have the new random do list in the month of November. If you don't have a list, or you would like a list, or you got eliminated and want a new list, go ahead and go to our forums, forum.z2z.com, and go ahead and ask for a new one. It's never too late to start up. Every achievement earns you an entry into the random draw for a prize every month. And, of course, we're doing a 4-month campaign, so the most in that 4-month period is also up for some prize action. So get on board. It's super fun. It's like the UHH, only a little more casual, and some of the achievements go a little deeper than the UHH since those kind of scrape that next available. So, you have a little bit more work cut out for you, but it really helps focus your earnings for the month. I love it for that reason. The community challenge for the month of November, X gonna give it to ya. That is earning achievements in games that begin with the letter or have the letter X within them, anywhere within them. Could be a Roman numeral, could be embedded within the name, could start with X, doesn't matter. But any achievements in those games count for entries into the random draw for that community challenge. You can go take a look at our forums for any of the rules and details. The gamer tag for the month of November is Chin Docta and Montana 97. So you can have up to 20 entries this time around. You get 10 for each gamer tag without any substitutions, but those O's, those and the I in Chin Docta, those can be substituted. So you can still get yourself at least one entry if you get everything else. The MOCAS is up for November. This one, not as crazy. You need to, with achievement names, spell out the word Scorpio. So, for instance, let's say, if there's an achievement named Candy Corn, then that would be the C in Scorpio, and you get credit for every time you spell the word Scorpio. You can do it as many times as you need. If you happen to spell it in a single game, so if one game happened to have all letters needed for Scorpio, then that gets you bonus entries into that one. So again, that's also in our forums if you're curious about that. And then check out our Discord. So my Discord channel, discord.me/Freamhole. You can come find all of our boosting groups that we have going on. I mention it each and every week, but we've got our Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare group. I'm heading up the 360 version on Thursday nights, and Big L is heading up the 1 version on Thursday nights, although they are getting dangerously close to finishing. Our 360 version probably has a couple of weeks left, and then I think at that point it might be moving on to the 1 version. So if you're interested in getting in a group with me, then we can do that as well. They're still doing Tuesday Halo groups. So if you're interested in doing Halo achievements, specifically the multiplayer stuff, but I know a lot of people need a lot of things, so you can get on that as well. Battleborn Wednesdays. We are chipping away at all the lore challenges with that. We need at least 5 people per night to get anything done. But we technically could find some randoms if we had a few people. But I'm looking forward to this week. I hopefully can finish off Orendi this week, and that'll give me an achievement. And then finally, check out our forums. So in Discord, come chat with us. It's great. There's also a generic LFG if you just looking for something to, earn off your ultimate head-to-head, or you're looking to earn something in your random to-do list. You can post in there, or just come and chat with us. We have awesome conversations about all sorts of random crap all the time. And then finally, I want to thank all of our patrons who donated in October. I will be going through the list and making sure everyone has gold names. I have to do that manually because I couldn't get that rule to work out for some reason. It turns out I'm not great with computers. So if you don't get a gold name and you donated money to the show in the month of October, let me know, and I'll give you your gold name in Discord. And I want to thank everybody who donated to the show. You guys are amazing. We couldn't do it without you. I mention it each and every week, and I appreciate it each and every week. I cannot believe the amazing support that we get from our fans. You guys are the best. So with that, I'm going to take off, and I guess we'll see you on episode 100. I cannot believe we've lasted 100 episodes. It is amazing. Thanks again to all of you in the community who give us a chance, who have spread the word, let others know about the show. We really couldn't do it without you. So until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.